Well, good morning, guys. We're gonna keep on keeping on here, and it's time to start priming the cases. Now, I forgoed the earlier, sizing and flaring the necks and stuff like that. I went ahead and did that after I got the brass all nice and clean. And I'm gonna tell you what, guys. If you don't have a wet tumbler where you use a stainless steel pins, these work excellent. The Thumbler's tumbler that, or actually any brand name for that matter, they work great. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to prime 50 cases, and we'll take a little break after I do a few of them, and then probably move on to the next because you guys don't have to sit there and watch me prime 50 cases. And then we'll go ahead and we'll set up the powder measure. One little hint though, when you guys are we're using standard, Winchester primers. One thing when you guys are flaring the necks of your cases, take a bullet that you're going to load and make sure that you have the neck flared out enough so where it receives the bullet. That's really important. You don't want to scrape the sides on lead bullets. Because then that will lead to fouling in your cylinder throats and in your forcing cone. So anyway, let's get the ball rolling here. This is the new Lee hand primer. And believe it or not, guys, I don't like it as much as I like the old style one. For some reason, this one here has it's a little more cumbersome to use. It's a little more heavy duty than what they made in the past. However, it is a little bit more, I don't know, awkward to use, I guess. The way that the way the top fits and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll get going here. There you go. I'll tell you what, these little hand primers are very, very handy. Make quick work out of, doing this sort of thing. Okay. There was also something else I wanted to show you as well. Now, I went down to Harbor Freight, and I think it was like $5.99, and I went ahead and bought one of these cheap little scales, and it measures in whole grains, carrots, and grams and stuff like that. But it also, one thing that's kind of nice about it that I find for weighing bullets is that it doesn't go down to tenths of grains. It just measures, if this weighs 262 grains and I put it on there, it should say 262 grains. And that's all I'm interested in. We're not going to get down to the tenth of grains with bullets. So anyway, I want to go ahead and check that out. Okay, go ahead and zero. Grains. Okay, that says 259 grains. 259 grains. 260 grains. 259 grains. 257 grains, 256 grains, 259 grains, 260 grains, 262 grains, 259 grains, 257 grains, 259 grains, 256 grains, 257 grains, 259 grains. So, you know, you can go ahead and quickly go through your bullets and just get a rough estimate which ones are heavier and lighter than the other ones. And, you know, you can kind of sort them out, you know, if you want to do this. I mean, you guys don't have to do this. You can just go out there and live your life and just go ahead and shoot them. I'm going to go ahead and kind of sort them out and see which ones that I want to go ahead and use. You know, what's the bigger lot of this. I don't believe that any one of these is going to outshoot the other one. So we'll see about that. But, you know, this is a handy little scale. It's only about $6. I mean, you know, you're not going to weigh powder with it. You're not going to do anything like that. But I wanted to bring this up so that, you know, for bullet casters that just want a rough estimate on, you know, how much their bullets weigh, I found this to be, you know, a pretty good little device. I mean, it may not be the most precise thing in the world, but it does work. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Okay? So when we come back, we'll have them all, you know, we'll have them all primed and everything like that. And we'll go ahead and we'll load the Hornady lock and load automatic powder dispenser, and we'll start loading with HS6. So we'll be back. Well, hey guys, we're all set up. We have our powder measure already calibrated and everything. I went ahead and put in the load that I'm going to use that I got from the Hornady manual. We're going to be using 7.8 grains of HS6 with the Lee 240 grain round nose. And we're going to see how this works. I've already sorted these out. These actually weigh, you know, within probably a grain of one another. So anyway, here we go. I just poured this one, so we're going to go ahead and check it on the scale. Yeah, looks like we're right in there, guys. So let's go ahead and dump that back in. We'll pour another one. $7.8, right on the money. Yeah, we're splitting there probably about a half a grain or so. So let's try another one. I really like this powder measure. This automatic powder measure is just really, you know, it's a godsend. It'll put it right on the money. There it is. 7.8. I don't know why it got such bad reviews. I mean, some people hate it, some people like it, some people, well, we're right in there, guys. 7.8. So, there we go. And like I said, just put a bullet on top like that, and that's it. Now all you got to do is just press the bullet in and crimp it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and continuing on with the charging of the cases, and get them all ready to go. And then the next segment, the next time when we come back, we'll be go ahead and seating the bullets and crimping them and getting them ready to go. And then I think that's just going to conclude it for right now of the loading for the 44 Special. We're starting off with a Lee, 200 and 240 grain round nose, and we'll be going to the range with these and then checking these for accuracy, and that will be in the next video. So anyway, when I come back, we'll continue on continuing on, guys. All right. Well, hey guys, we're out here in the garage, and I've already set up the die, and I've already set up the bullet, the bullet length, and I went ahead and set up the crimp in my die. Let me get a little bit better shot here. Bring the press in there. There you go. All right. So what we're gonna do is continuing on. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. That's that monster right there. That is one big bullet. I checked these on the scale, and Fortune Cookie was right. These 240 grain Lee bullets, they drop at about 262 grains. That's the reason why I went with 7.8 grains of HS6. The Hornady manual puts that out on the 240 grain bullet as moving along there at a muzzle velocity of about 750 feet per second. So I imagine these are going to be right in there at about 700, 695, 670. We have to take into account the extra weight that that's in the bullet. But these are going to be some monsters, guys, and I'm really excited about getting out there and trying them out. The next segment that I'm going to do is I'm going to prime some more brass. Got plenty of brass. I'm going to prime some more brass, and I think I'm going to go ahead and load those 215 grain bullets in the next chapter. But for this chapter right now, once we're done loading here, we'll go out to the range and we'll go ahead and we'll fire these and see how they group. So, that'll be the next thing. So what I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and we'll load some 215 grain and get those loaded, and then we'll go ahead and go to the range and we'll bring these with. So anyway, that'll be the next chapter, the 215 grain and shooting the 262 grain lead bullet, and we'll see how that works and see how we do for grouping. So anyway, this kind of concludes the first chapter on the collaboration 44 Special. I just want to iterate a little bit of commentary here. One thing that Elmer Keith did is he brought to life the 44 Magnum, and that's cool. I mean, that's cool. One thing about the 38 Special, though, the 38 Special was a military round, and it was used, quite extensively police and military and that sort of thing. And when in 1935, when he did his work with the 357 Magnum, the popularity of the 38 Special, didn't go away. There was an awful lot of firearms that were chambered in 38 Special, so there was a lot of guys that continued on with the 38 Special and continued to use it as a target round, and so it didn't really dry up, But one thing Elmer Keith did in the end, now I've never read any of his books, so I'm not really an expert on Elmer Keith, but from what I can see from an outsider view, a hand loader, and just the gist of what I see, is that he ended up killing one of the great rounds that we had in the 20th century. I mean, this is an excellent round. That's an excellent target bullet. It can be loaded, for target use. You can use this for, medium-sized game hunting. And the one thing it does have going for it is that it's a target round. And what happened was when the 44 Magnum came out, everybody was just all hot and heavy about getting with the 44 Magnum, that the 44 Smith & Wesson kind of fell by the wayside. And, a lot of people forgot about it. And I'm going to tell you what, there's some 1950 target revolvers that Smith & Wesson made. There's some old triple locks out there. There's other models that were available from Smith & Wesson that was, engineered for the 44 Special. And I'll tell you something, guys. It was really kind of a shame that this round kind of lost its popularity in the shadow of the 44 Magnum. To tell you the truth, overall, I think that the 44 Special, just based on my experience, is a more usable round. This is a round that can be used for many different aspects of shooting, and you're not in that 44 Magnum range of shooting. I mean, shooting a 44 Magnum all the time. I mean, you can see that that can be a daunting task for repeating that repeating fire for the 44 Magnum. You get a flinch, and if you don't hold it right, it'll hurt. I mean, with full Magnum loads, it'll put a hurting on you. So anyway, so there it is. I got 50 rounds of the 240, well, I mean the 262 grain. It's loaded with 7.8 grains of HS6. And we'll go ahead and we'll take these to the range with the 215 grain, and we'll go ahead and shoot those. So in my next segment, we'll go ahead and we'll load the 215 grain in the next chapter, and then we'll take these out there and we'll shoot those with the 215 grain, see what we can get for accuracy. So this kind of concludes chapter 1 as far as Thor's axe is concerned. So anyway, we'll keep on moving forward, and until next time, guys, you guys have good shooting, okay?